Liberty. In the classic Christian conception, liberty is freedom from the errors which obstruct the true knowledge of God. The man who completely rejects this freedom, exemplified by Nietzsche, is the mad Übermensch, the inhuman Superman mental patient. In the post-Enlightenment secular conception, liberty is freedom from the social conventions which obstruct true self-realization. The man who completely rejects this freedom, exemplified by Eichmann, is the sane Unmensch, the inhuman, non-man bureaucrat. The person who wants to avoid the fanaticisms of both unconventionality and conventionality, that is, anyone who wants to live a decent life, must reconcile these opposing tendencies and accept the tension between them as unresolvable. Men love liberty because it protects them from control and humiliation by others, thus affording them the possibility of dignity. They loathe liberty because it throws them back on their own abilities and resources, thus confronting them with the possibility of insignificance. Freedom is what many people want for themselves and few want for others. The Russian people are profoundly ambivalent about living freely, deciding for themselves where and how to live. Because such a life seems too hard to them, they try to soften it by subjecting themselves to the ostensibly benevolent controls of political authorities. As a result, they lead hard lives, devoid of freedom and dignity. The American people are profoundly ambivalent about dying freely, deciding for themselves when and how to die. Because such a death seems too hard to them, they try to soften it by subjecting themselves to the ostensibly benevolent control of medical authorities. As a result, they die hard deaths, devoid of freedom and dignity. Although Americans are more than a little ambivalent about the value of liberty in their own lives, they assume that other people, especially Russians, want more of it very badly. Nothing could be further from the truth. In the first place, it is reasonable to assume that if a people want to enjoy a good deal of personal freedom, they will, sooner or later, construct a social system consistent with that desire. The Russians have not done so. Moreover, we now have opinion polls to support the supposition that the Russians place a low value on liberty. Thus, a poll conducted jointly by French and Russian sociologists in 1987 revealed that when asked if they approved of the release of those who are called dissidents from prison or exile, 42% of the Muscovites responding said no. Asked if persons who want to leave Russia should be allowed to do so, 73% said they approved of giving exit visas to people who want to leave the Soviet Union, which means that slightly more than 1 out of every 4 Muscovites believes he should not have the freedom to leave his own country when he wants to. The idea that the very existence of an exit visa is a violation of an inalienable human right has, I assume, not occurred to either the pollsters or their respondents. If you truly yearn to be free, you must first recognize all the ways you are unfree. Only after constructing a complete catalog of the constraints upon you can you begin to consider which ones you can and want to diminish or eliminate, and at what cost, to you and others you cherish. Your self-liberation will be complete when you are left with constraints to which you willingly, perhaps even eagerly, submit. People, perhaps especially Americans, the myth of their love of liberty notwithstanding, have a passion for prohibiting all manner of human enterprises, even enterprises that are contractual and not harmful to third parties. For example, a mere 20 years ago, in 1968, it was illegal to 1. Provide overnight mail delivery service or cable television service. 2. Own gold bullion. 3. Advertise if you were a doctor or lawyer. 4. Operate a self-service gas station. While AU of these enterprises have become legal since then, today it is illegal to 1. Buy or sell most of the drugs people want, which had been available legally for thousands of years, such as opium or a hypodermic syringe and needle, without a physician's prescription. 2. Pay a person less than the minimum wage. 3. Advertise a job specifying that the applicant needs to be attractive or young. 4. Ride a motorcycle without wearing a helmet.